Welcome to the Feel Good Flow. I have been doing this probably every day. It helps out my back, helps out my elbow. It just kind of feels good, and it's a good full body stretch. I just want to share that with you, and you can take it or leave it. The poses that we are going to hold today will be for a little bit of time, so it'll be kind of a little bit restorative and yin-like. With a little bit of sun salutations and a little bit of flow put in. Not necessarily any chaturangas, but you could add the vinyasa flow if you would like. Just kind of listen to your body, and if you decide that you want to hold something for longer than what we're doing, that's totally up to you. So just do what feels best for you. So we are actually going to get started on our backs. So you can come down to your back in whatever version of a mini shavasana that you like. Whether your legs come out nice and long, maybe you do a butterfly pose, maybe your legs or feet or out to the sides and your knees drop in. And just take a few moments to quiet your mind, relax down into the mat. We're not necessarily going to focus on breathing. I will cue the inhales and the exhales. We're not going to necessarily do any of the vinyasa ujjayi breath. If you'd like, you can just keep your inhales and exhales same length or whatever is most calming to do. And gently, when you're ready, bring both of your knees into your chest. If you want, you can place your hands on the knees or on the shins and just gently rock back and forth. Just kind of going wherever that feels good. If you want to do little mini circles with your knees, make sure you go in both directions. And then slowly put both of your feet back down on the ground. We're going to take your right ankle and put it over your left knee for a little figure four. You can keep that right foot flexed if that feels okay, or just let it kind of flop around. If you'd like, you can do some ankle rolls with that right foot. Just a couple in each direction. And you're welcome to stay here for the figure four. You can take both of your hands. You're going to bring them behind the left thigh, pulling the left thigh towards your body. So your left foot is going to come up off of the mat. And again, you can do those ankle rolls on the left foot if that feels okay. Try to relax the shoulders down into the mat. The closer you pull the left leg into the body, the more stretch you're going to feel on the right side. And if you need to change it up a little bit, you can also use that right hand to press the right knee away from the body as you pull the left leg closer. Definitely changes what area of the body that you might feel your stretch. And then slowly bring that left foot back down to the ground, unwind that right foot. We're going to bring both of the knees back into the chest again. If it feels okay to rock side to side, maybe move those knees in those circles again. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time the right foot comes down to the mat. Take that left ankle, put it over the right knee. First we're going to do little circles with that right foot, keeping it either flexed or just kind of hanging out there. And then if you wanted, reach with your hands behind that right thigh, pulling it towards the body. Try to relax those shoulders on the mat. Maybe do those circles with that right ankle, go in both directions. And slowly release that right foot back down to the mat, unhook that left foot. And then slowly bring both of your knees back into your chest, either rocking side to side, just hanging out there, maybe doing those little circles. And then both of your feet are going to come down to the mat. We're going to do easy twist. We'll go to the left first. So your knees are first pointed up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you can let your knees fall over to the left. Try to relax your shoulders onto the mat. Your hands can be extended out long if you would like. So they're coming perpendicular from your body. You can turn your head over to the right if that feels okay. And if you want a little bit more, take that top leg, which is the right, and you're going to kind of wrap it around that left leg, almost like you're sitting with a skirt, like under a table, crossing your legs kind of thing. If you need just a little bit more, in a different place, or just to deepen that stretch a little bit. Even in the twist, try to keep your breath nice and focused and even. Nice deep inhales and deep exhales. Next inhale, slowly bring your head back to center. Slowly bring those knees up and back to center. Bring your hands in, bring the knees into the chest. Again, rock a little bit if that feels good. We're just resetting ourselves, going to the other side. So here we're holding them for about 10 breaths, but if you want to hold it for 15 or 20, that's up to you. You can just stop the video and then pick up when you're finished. So both of the feet plant towards the mat. The knees are up towards the ceiling. This time we're going to let our legs fall over to the right. Relax those shoulders on the mat. If you extended the arms out on the other side, you can do so. And if it feels okay in your neck, you can look over to the left or just keep looking straight up. And this is not a hard twist, so it's okay if your knees are not coming out directly perpendicular to your hips. It can be wherever your legs need it, wherever your body feels the best. And if you wanted to take that little bit of extra, this time you take the top leg, which is the left, and you're going to wrap it around the right. This can cause a little bit of extra, there are muscles in my back, I didn't know that they were there. So it makes it a little bit deeper. center. You can bring the arms in, bring those knees back up to center, unwind them if they're wound, and bring the knees into the chest. Just rocking side to side, relaxing, maybe doing more of those circles. Again, just kind of doing what feels good. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly come up to a seated position. If you need to put a blanket or something under your bottom, or you have a block, you have a bolster, that's great. We are going to do a fire log pose, so you don't want your hips to be too much higher because we really want to get into those hips. So I'm going to turn to face the camera so that you can see me. So we're going to start with the right foot on the bottom. Your foot is going to be about parallel to the top of your mat, and then the foot stays flexed. And then you take your left ankle, two options. You can put ankle over knee, or if that's not accessible to you, you can bring the foot so it's down into the crease of where that right knee, like the thigh and then the calf, you know, the crease that it makes right there, if that feels okay. If this is still not accessible to you at this time in your life, you can just go back to your back and do the figure 4 stretch. It's just a little bit different. If you have a huge gap right here, or just any gap at all, this I'm okay sitting here like this, but not for a really long period of time. So if you are going to hold it for a longer period of time, I suggest using a blanket or a block and just shove it in between that right foot and the left knee, and it gives a little bit more support, and you can really dig into those hips. So while we're here, you have a couple of options. You can sit up nice and tall, really reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling, relaxing those shoulders. And maybe once you've been here for a couple of breaths, your hips and the muscles and the tendons will start to release and open up. And if it feels okay, you can begin to bend forward, hinging at your hips, and then maybe reaching forward as if you were in a forward fold. It definitely makes everything a little bit more intense. And it's totally up to you. If you're in the folded over forward fold with the fire log pose, let's take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. And then on your next inhale, you're going to use your hands to slowly push yourself back up to seated. If you have that prop in between your legs, you can slowly remove it, put it to the side. Send that left leg out long, send the right leg out long. Give it a nice little shake, maybe bend at the knees a little bit, maybe roll your ankles. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time the left comes on the bottom. Again, it's parallel to the top of your mat. Flex that bottom foot. And then bring the right ankle either over the left knee or in the crease. Or if you were doing the figure 4, you were just on your back, so you can just switch the legs. And again, if you need a prop, you can prop yourself up. Sit up nice and tall. Just kind of see how it feels on this side. The hips are those tricky things where one side is always different than the other. And this might be the intensity that you need on this side. And after a couple of breaths, if you feel that you want a little bit more, a little bit deeper, you can begin to hinge forward on those hips. Maybe reach those arms out for a little bit more of a forward fold. If you're in that forward fold, take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. And then on your next inhale, use your hands to slowly bring yourself back up to seated. Remove any props that you might have had under your body. Send that right leg out long, and then the left leg out long, and again, shake it out a little bit. Maybe do those circles with the feet. Nice. All right, now we're gonna move into a tabletop position. So when you are ready, your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. If you would like, you can do some natural movements. We're not gonna do targeted cat and cows just yet, but you are more than welcome to if that's what you need in that natural movement. Just kind of swinging those hips a little bit. We're going to work on a little bit of upper back mobility. I really like this, my foundations class, we do this a lot. I've heard there's a saying that is, if you're 30 and you have a stiff back, you're old, and if you're 60 and you have a flexible back, you're young. And I really believe that because I'm just over 30 and my back doesn't like me, and there are days when I feel like I'm 90 and I should have a cane or something like that. So we're going to work on a little bit of mobility, and again, like I said, I do this pretty much every night. We're going to start with 5 on each side, and as you get better at it, you can add up to 10. And if you feel that you don't want to do the mobility part, that's fine. You're just going to hold the thread, the needle for the length of time that we are doing, the rest of us are doing the mobility part. And at the end of the 5th, as we do the 5th thread the needle, that's when we're going to stop and put the weight on it and actually hold the thread the needle for, I don't know, maybe 5 or so breaths. So let me show you how we're going to do this. We will start with the left side so that you can see. Your right hand can stay where it's at, or you can bring it in a little bit closer. Inhale that left arm up towards the sky. And then when you exhale, you're going to thread it through the right hand and the right knee, but we're not actually stopping, because then on the inhale, it goes back up towards the sky. And then exhale, thread it through. You can join me when you're ready. So we're going to start with 1, and exhale, thread it through, and 2, and exhale, thread it through, and 3, exhale, thread, and 4, exhale, thread, and 5. So the inhale comes up. As you exhale, you're threading the needle. Drop your shoulder onto the mat. Drop the back of that left hand onto the floor. Put some weight into the left shoulder. Your right hand can stay up under your shoulder if that feels okay. You can reach it out towards the top of the mat, or you can wrap it around for a little bit of a bind, either on your sacrum or maybe tucking in between the left side. Whatever feels best for you. And remember to take deep inhales and deep exhales. Take one more nice big inhale and a big exhale. Put weight into that right hand. As you inhale, push yourself up, bring that left hand up towards the sky, and then exhale, bring it back down for a tabletop, and do whatever natural movements you need, shifting those hips, maybe looking over shoulders. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to do 5 with the 5th one ending in that thread the needle hold. So this time, you're going to bring that left hand in a little bit, or keep it where it's at, whatever feels best for you. Inhale that right arm up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, you thread it through the left side this time. But then again, we're not stopping, because on your next inhale, you bring it back up. This is number 2, and exhale, thread. Inhale back up, number 3. Exhale, thread. Inhale up for 4. Exhale, thread. Inhale up for 5, and then this time that exhale, we thread it, drop the shoulder, press the top of the hand into the mat, either keep that right hand under the shoulder, walk it out to the top of the mat, bring it back for a bind. Taking a big exhale. On your next inhale, press into that left hand, bring that right arm up towards the sky, and then exhale, bring it down, back into that tabletop. And now we're going to go through those cat-cows. So on an inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, gaze comes maybe up towards the ceiling. And then when you exhale, you're going to round to the shoulders, pull the belly up and in, really press those shoulder blades towards the ceiling. And then inhale back to your cow. And exhale to your cat. And maybe just do 1 or 2 more rounds, or whatever feels best for you. And that can include looking over the shoulder, and then the other shoulder. Maybe dropping those hips back, and then coming into that cat, and then, or cow. And then as you exhale, you cat it, and bring those hips back. It's like a little slow movement. And then come back to your neutral tabletop position. We're going to go through a little flow. We've done this in a couple of my classes. It has chaturanga, well, baby cobras in it. So I will flow it first, and then you can follow along. So we're going to start in a modified high plank. Walk your knees back a little bit. If you'd like to hyperextend like my arms, maybe add a little bit of bend so we're not like, doing that weird thing, right? Push up through the shoulder blades, pull the belly up and in. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to lower all the way down to your belly. Bring that right arm out to the side. You're going to pick up your left leg, and as you exhale, you're going to roll to the right. And we'll hold it here for a couple of breaths. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you come back to center. So the foot comes in, the hand comes in. Inhale that left arm out towards the side. Pick up your right foot, and as you exhale, you roll over to the left. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to come back to center, bring the arm in, bring the feet in. Now zip up your legs, little to no weight in your hands. Arms stay under your shoulders. If you want, you can float them. On an inhale, pick up just the torso for a little baby cobra. Press from the hips all the way down to the tips of the toes. Really squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. You want a nice long spine, so try not to be looking up at the phone while you're doing this. Gaze is going to be down. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to lower down. Put weight back into our hands. We're going to press up to a modified high plank. Not tuck your toes. Put your toes together. Send your knees out wide. We're going to drop back into a child's pose. So in your child's pose, really work those hips to the heels. Now we're going to flow this a little bit faster. So on an inhale, we're going to come up through tabletop to that modified high plank. And as you exhale, you're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale that right arm out, pick up the left foot, exhale, roll. Hold it for an inhale, and an exhale, and an inhale. As you exhale, everything comes back to center. Inhale that left arm out, pick up the right foot and roll on the exhale. Hold it for an inhale, and an exhale, and an inhale. As you exhale, you come back to center, zip up this leg, little to no weight in the hands. Inhale up as baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press yourself through modified. Send your legs wide. And as you exhale, you're going to come back into a child's pose. Now we're going to make this child's pose a little bit more activated, so I really want you to press into your fingers, lifting the forearms up off the mat, still reaching the hips to the heels. Take a nice big inhale, really reach those hands towards the top of the mat. And as you exhale, you're going to walk them over to the right. Your head and your torso are going to follow. The hips are still working towards the heels. And if you need a little bit more, put that left hand on top of the right hand. Take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. As you inhale, you're going to walk your hands back forward to center. And this time you're going to slide forward into a puppy pose. So you can bring your knees in a little bit so that they're under your hips, but your hips are going to stay up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to send those arms out really long towards the front of your mat, and your chest kind of comes down towards the mat. So your head might kind of hang there. If this is uncomfortable or you want to go a little bit further, put your elbows on the mat. Bring your hands together in a prayer pose. Let the chest fall down into that mat, and then maybe your hands stay where they're at, or maybe the hands come behind your neck. It is a little bit more of an intense pose, and you can do this with blocks or books underneath your elbows and or a block or book underneath your head. This is also good for cracking your back. Take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. If your hands are behind your head, slowly bring them forward. If you'd like, you can push yourself up to a tabletop. Send those knees out wide again. And when you exhale, you're going back to that child's pose. We'll stay here for an inhale and an exhale. It's activated child's pose. And then as you inhale, you're going to walk your hands over to the left and exhale back into child's pose. And if you need more, put that right hand on top of the left. Working the hips to the heels. Take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. On your next inhale, walk your hands back to center. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, bring yourself up to a tabletop. Again, if you'd like to take any natural movements, you are more than welcome to. And then step your feet back to a high plank. We are going to do probably just one down dog. This will be it. So you're in a high plank, and then engage that low core. Press those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Bend at the knees. Shifting the hips. Inhale, gaze forward towards the top of your hands, and then slowly make your way towards the top of your mat for a little ragdoll position. Remember, we're bending at the hips, not at the back. Really let your torso hang heavy, really bend those knees. If it feels okay, you can sway side to side. reach down towards the mat so that you're relaxing all the way through the neck. Inhale's a half lift. It's a number 7 with your body. Hands are on the shins or the thighs. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together. You want a nice long spine so the crown of the head is reaching towards whatever part of the room you were in. Mine's reaching towards my bolster. Take a nice big inhale and exhale, release it down. Inhale back to that half lift. And exhale, release. Doing this one more time. Inhale to that half lift. And exhale, release it down. This time on your inhale, roll all the way up. One vertebrae at a time. I'm going to stand back here because I don't know if you can see me. Coming into standing mountain. Really ground down through the feet. Pull the belly up and in. Relax those shoulders, drawing them down and back. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead for that extended mountain. Relax those shoulders. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep those arms back up overhead for extended mountain. Exhale, hands come through heart center. It's a little bit of a flow with the arms. Inhale, bring them, sweep them up. Extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, sweep them up. And exhale, bring them to heart center. Take a nice big inhale, then exhales forward folds. Hinge at those hips. Inhale, half lifts. Exhale, fold. If you're at the front of your mat, you're going to step back into a high plank. We're going to do that little flow that we did at the beginning of class. So drop your knees, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Right hand comes out on the inhale. Exhale, roll. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, you come back to center. Inhale, that left arm out, and exhale, roll. Inhale, and then exhale, come back to center. Zip up your legs. Inhale, up to baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press yourself to modified. Legs go wide. Exhale, back to that child's pose. Inhale, come up through tabletop. Exhale, lower down to your belly. And start a little bit more of a cool down from our flow. So the first one we're going to do is locust. So our hands are going to be down by our sides, palms up or palms down, whatever feels best. Your legs and your torso is going to lift at the same time, and we do want a nice long neck. So think about kind of like when we were in baby cobra. Nice long legs, so you're not yanking looking at the mirror or, the screen. So right now we're just relaxing down into the mats. Tops of the feet are turned over. We're going to inhale and exhale to prepare. So take a nice big inhale, fill the body with air. And exhale, let everything out, whether through the mouth or through the nose, it's your choice. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift the torso, bring the shoulders up and back, let the hands fly behind you, and then lift up the feet. Nice long spine to look down versus cranking that head up. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the legs. Everything is flying back behind you, and you'll probably rock a little bit. Take a nice big inhale, lift a little higher, and exhale, lower down, put a cheek to the mat. Maybe bend at your knees and slowly let your legs fall side to side, if that feels okay. Slowly bring those legs back down if they are windshield wipering. Bring that chin back to the mat. We're going to do this one more time. Take a nice big inhale to fill the body with air, and then exhale to let it all out. Take a nice big inhale, lift the torso, lift the legs, fly everything back behind you. Squeeze it all, lift up the highest you have lifted each time. try to get a little bit higher. Nice big inhale. And exhale, lower down. This time put the opposite cheek, and if you windshield wiper your legs on the other side, maybe do so on this side. Slowly bring the legs back down, and however you'd like to get there, we're going to flip over to our backs. There's no graceful way to go. When you get onto your back, your knees are going to be pointed up towards the ceiling. The feet are going to be nice and flat on the mat, about hip width distance apart. We're going to set up for a bridge pose, and we're going to do bridge pose twice. So the first time, I really would like you to keep your hands down by your sides, and then on the second time, you can walk your shoulders up under your heart, okay? Because we want to get some of the anatomy down first, where your energy direction should be going, okay? So, take a nice big inhale, and a big exhale. On an inhale, press through the hands, press through the feet, engage the core, the pelvis is going to tilt a little bit, and press the hips up towards the ceiling. So your hands are on the outside for a little bit of support, press through the shoulders. Think about pressing the feet away from you. And then energy is coming from the hips going out through the knees. And then your belly is pulling up and in. This might help get your hips a little bit higher. And then we're pressing through the hands, pressing through the shoulders, and think about a nice long back of the neck. So that means that your chin might come a little bit closer to your chest, and that is fine. Really important not to look around side to side, because this could this could hurt your neck, and we don't want that. Take a nice big inhale, lift a little bit higher, and then as you exhale, slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Now we're going to pop right back up into that second bridge. So once your tailbone hits the mat, take a nice big inhale and lift everything up. And if it's in your practice or you wanted to try this time, first get everything going in terms of where your feet should be, what the energy you should be feeling in your legs, in your feet, in the back of your neck. And then if it's in your practice or you want to try it, you can walk your shoulders up under your heart, maybe interlace those fingers. Sometimes it gives you a little bit more leverage to really push those hips up nice and high. And even in this, I want you to pretend you have something in between your legs and you're squeezing them together. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly release. So release those hands if they're underneath you. Come down one vertebrae at a time. Woo. Slowly bring the knees back into your chest if you wanted to rock them side to side. You want to do those little circles like we did at the beginning of class. Slowly come back to center. And then gently, when you're ready, and bring yourself up to seated. You can do crisscross with your legs, like an easy seat. You can do a locust pose if that is in your practice. If you have that block of that blanket and this time you want to bring them up under your hips, you can go for it. Bring them a little bit higher than your knees. Sometimes it just feels kind of nice. Really sit up nice and tall. Really reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Your hands that can be resting on your knees, up or down. Can be in your lap. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center and slightly bow your head forward. Close your eyes. Keep focusing on deep inhales and deep exhales. The light in me sees, honors, and reflects the light in you. It is the same. We are connected. Namaste. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little flow. Like I said, I kind of do this a little bit every day, sometimes before a workout or after a workout or right before bed. Just a little bit of movement, and yeah, I hope that it helps you out and you really enjoyed it. Before you go, I realized my last video didn't have a joke, and come on, right? Corny jokes. So I've got one for you today, and my joke is this. Did you know that you can get paid for sleeping? It's a dream job. Hope you have a great rest of your day.